To gaze across San Diego Bay is to see history come ashore. From its armada of great ships, Cabrillo's San Salvador, to the U.S. Navy's latest supercarrier, to its emerald green parks, home to myriad attractions, resorts, businesses. Billions invested by port businesses that make this place unlike any other. San Diego Bay and its port is the art of the impossible, and the impossible takes time, about 250 years to be exact. This is that story. It begins with an earlier day upon the bay. On April 11, 1769, a Spanish ship sailed into a deep and natural harbor that would eventually be called San Diego Bay. It was soon followed by other ships, and, by land, 2 contingents of soldiers and Franciscan missionaries, most notably, a priest named Junipero Serra. They gathered amid oaks and coastal sagebrush to dedicate the founding of Mission San Diego de Alcala, the first in a string of missions that would extend northward and would be known as Alta California, and transform that natural harbor into a bustling working port that, over the next 250 years, would help define the fate and future of the city beside the bay. Serra and his companions weren't alone, of course. Indigenous peoples had called the region home for more than 10,000 years. Serra wasn't the first European to visit the place. The explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo set his sight on the bay in 1542, followed 60 years later by Sebastian Vizcaíno in 1602, who mapped and named the place after his own ship, the San Diego. In the years that followed Serra, settlers of all sorts and stripes arrived, transforming our bay into a major port of call. In 1834, San Diego became a town administered by Mexican authorities. 12 years later, U.S. troops marched into Old Town and raised the Stars and Stripes, declaring San Diego to be American territory. Old Town was the heart of early San Diego, but it was situated miles from the bay. Others saw the future lying closer to the sea, creating in the 1850s a new town. For sailor and citizen, San Diego Bay was a natural haven. 12 miles long, 1 to 2 miles wide, with 22 square miles of water. The depth was constant and easily navigable. Water frontage was almost as great as New York City. San Diegans worked hard to build their city and its one-of-a-kind port, from frontier seaport to thriving commercial hub, with goods moving both ways on a burgeoning rail system to inland markets and on visiting vessels bound for distant ports. San Diego became a beacon of prosperity, big enough to merit its own U.S. lighthouse, number 355, situated atop Point Loma. In 1908, the U.S. Navy's Great White Fleet paid a port of call on its global display of America's blue water power. The fleet was a glimpse of the Navy's future and of San Diego's. With local encouragement, the Navy dredged the harbor to make it deep enough for its biggest ships and set anchor, building a naval training station, hospital, repair facilities, and airbase on North Island. The Navy and Marines sailed in to erect bases of their own. 2 world wars swelled military ranks, civilian jobs, and universal ambitions. World War II ended whatever notions remained that San Diego was a sleepy seaside town. Thousands of sailors and Marines had trained in or passed through the area. Thousands more civilians came to San Diego to work in defense plants. Entrepreneurs and politicians created productive shipyards and aircraft factories. When the war ended, people stayed, and others came to restart their lives in a place bright with possibilities. The port of San Diego is home to one of the largest Navy fleets in America. A treasure like San Diego Bay requires smart development. It demands coordination and cooperation among the 5 cities: Coronado, Chula Vista, Imperial Beach, National City, and San Diego, that had grown up and are still growing along its shores. A single agency was needed, one that combined common resources and interests to ensure the bay was wisely developed and prudently protected. Senator Jim Mills and other like-minded visionaries created the Tidelands Act of 1962, which established the San Diego Unified Port District. The Port District went to work developing the National City Terminal and expanded nearby Lindbergh Field into an international airport. More dredging to accommodate the Navy's biggest carriers produced Harbor Island, just east of the airport. Before 1983, fewer than 2,000 visitors to San Diego arrived annually by cruise ship. The Port Authority, in concert with civic leaders, invested millions to convert an aging transit shed into a state-of-the-art cruise ship terminal, capable of welcoming tens of thousands of passengers each year. San Diego Bay and San Diego are living things. They change with time. The last 250 years have been a period of astounding growth and evolution, fueled by imagination, innovation, and industry. Times change, but these qualities do not. Today, the Bay and its port tenants are awash with movement, modernization, and big ideas. In Chula Vista, a new Bayfront master plan envisions a diverse blend of protected natural resources and ecosystems blended with vibrant commercial and residential enterprises. The historic Embarcadero is getting a $3 billion transformation to make it even more compelling. The Port of San Diego is central to what is good and great about San Diego. From its bustling docks, you can see San Diego's past, present, and future. We see what our founders have long seen, a place of remarkable promise and the future of one of the world's greatest cities.